Hello, good afternoon and welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Sam Suppiah, who's from Canadian Nuclear Laboratories. So welcome, Sam. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for introducing me to this. Yes.
So we're here obviously at hydrogen derivatives. We've had a lot of conversations around derivatives, around green molecules. We obviously spoke to you earlier. I'm interested because we've seen maybe a renaissance around the conversation of specifically nuclear and hydrogen. It's been building for a number of months, I guess, now. And I thought it'd be good to get your input and insight into how you see the nuclear industry into reacting, I guess, as it were, with hydrogen and ammonia, etc.
Yeah, you're right. There's lots of interest over the last year or two all around the world, not just in Canada, where I'm from, US, and even some parts of Europe, and especially the East, China, India, and countries like that, Japan, obviously. So what it is that nuclear power is clean energy, is the electrons are clean. So basically you can use the clean electrons, not only clean electrons, I mean also the thermal energy, heat energy, directly to produce hydrogen. So if you are going to use electrolysis as a way of producing hydrogen, you can just use electricity straight. But if you are going to use high temperature technologies like solid oxide electrolysis
Yeah.
or thermochemical processes like sulfur-iodine process or copper chlorine cycle process,
Yeah.
these are not new technologies, but they've been around. But currently, many countries are developing these technologies, including Canada, for example. We developed the copper chlorine cycle
Yeah.
to produce hydrogen at a high efficiency.
Yeah.
So Japan, for example, Japan and China, they are looking at sulfur iodine process to produce hydrogen at a high efficiency. And high temperature steam electrolysis gives you 30% greater efficiency than ordinary electrolysis. So that means that you can use some of the thermal energy from the nuclear reactors and also the electrons from
Yeah.
the nuclear reactors to produce clean hydrogen, basically. But not only clean hydrogen, in fact, we are in Canada, we are also heavily into producing clean fuels like drop-in diesel. So what you do is you basically produce hydrogen from from clean energy, then using high temperature steam electrolysis, for example, and or you could, if you have gas emissions, CO2 emissions,
Yeah.
you can electrolyze CO2 with steam to produce what's called synthesis gas,
Yeah.
and that can be then used to produce synthetic diesel. So the overall carbon intensity for the whole process is is 1/10 of the fossil fuel based carbon intensity. So nuclear has, or the nuclear or clean electrons have a lot of advantages in producing clean fuels, hydrogen, and ammonia, obviously ammonia.
And the scale of some of the nuclear sort of solutions that we've seen, obviously, I guess mid-scale solutions. Are these some of the ones like the CANDU reactor you were telling me about before?
Yeah, so the CANDU reactors, I mean, they are in the sort of 600 megawatt to 900 megawatt range reactors we have in Canada, China, Korea, Argentina, Romania, and countries like that. Those are CANDU reactors, sort of mid-sized range, I would say, 650 to 900 megawatt range. So those are good for economies that have the right infrastructure and things. Of course, you can go to larger reactors. Canada doesn't produce larger reactors, but other countries do. And now what's happening is that what's called small modular reactors, where you can, in fact, depending on your needs, for example, in Canada, in remote communities, they're not very big communities. They could do with small reactors, say 30, 40, 50 megawatt megawatt nuclear
Yeah.
facilities.
I mean, those are sort of SMRs, are they?
They're called Yeah, SMRs, they are not small, they are small modular. I like to say small modular nuclear reactors, SMNR, because SMR is also steam methane reform.
okay, yeah.
So just to differentiate that. So those small modular, so Canada, for example, is heavily into demonstrating technologies. And also one of our utilities, OPG in Ontario, they are looking at building a 300 megawatt small modular reactors. At Chalk River, we are looking at building or inviting companies to build a something like 30 megawatt nuclear facility. So there are a lot of activities going on in this area.
And I mean 30 megawatts is very small. I mean, it's like two offshore wind turbines nowadays. But I mean, those applications are I think, as you said, maybe remote communities, and I guess they're replacing a diesel genset solution, or
Exactly. In a country like Canada, there's such a great demand for northern communities where they live on diesel generators. Getting the diesel to their sites, especially during winter, is very difficult, or even summertime. So these reactors will be very useful for those, and or distributed hydrogen production. I mean, you don't necessarily need to produce very massive scale hydrogen. You can produce distributed sort of smaller scale hydrogen production, or synthetic diesel, or whatever that you want to produce. So there are applications for small modular reactors in that power range.
and what's the OPEX like for those kind of reactors? I mean, do you I mean, obviously, as small communities, they must be fairly easy to operate, but also, I mean, do they need a constant supply of fuel, or what?
So these small modular reactors are expected to be fueled once, and they are supposed to last about 20 years. So, and then you basically replace the fuel.
Right.
And so yes, you do need some capabilities or capacity on site.
Yeah.
But that can be brought in from outside. It doesn't have to be there. I mean, yes, you would need some people, security and operators and people like that. But not. These are supposed to be a highly safe reactors.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons for these small modular reactors. In fact.
Understood. And so your sort of negotiations or I guess conversations advancing on different projects, and what is the sort of the cost profile now for some of the larger reactors? Are they becoming, say, competitive with some of the other clean energy technologies?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question to answer, but the big reactors, the countries are looking at big reactors. Even Canada now is thinking about whether building large reactors, even 1,000 megawatt reactors, and they are looking at costs, because we haven't built one for a while now. So what is the cost right now? I mean, 10, 15 years ago, $2 billion was a reasonable cost.
Yeah.
And please don't, this is not a price cost that we commonly use, but if you said $2 billion about 10, 15 years ago, I'm not sure exactly what it would be right now. But the different countries are looking at all these costs, and the decent size or medium size to large reactors, they could still be economical to produce power.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for sharing some of your thoughts. Certainly not an area I'm very familiar with around nuclear, but looking forward to seeing the advancements, and hopefully you'll be part of the sort of decarbonisation system as we go forward. So many thanks, Sam. Thanks for taking your time out to chat to me.
Yeah, thank you. And you will see in the next little while quite a lot of nuclear renaissance, especially to produce clean fuels.
Excellent. Well, look forward to it. Many thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.